stream. It's been so long. Oh my goodness. Let's do this. Let's pull up the 30-minute. Let's pull that like that. Boom. Let's sign in over here. What's going on in chat? What's up? What's up? What's up? Hold on one second, y'all. Let me connect the chat over here real quick. Sign in. Bam. Allow access. Alright, cool. Alright, quick audio check. Quick audio check. 1, 2, 3. Mic check. Mic check. Can y'all hear me? There we go. Alright, I can see the chat now. What's good, y'all? Let me know if y'all can hear me down below. Zay, what's good, man? Hope all is well, brother. What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? Let me know if you guys can hear me. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Gang, you paper trade? Nah. I don't do. I mean, if I have like a really bad trading week, I'll go paper trade. But I haven't paper traded in a minute. Like a minute, actually. Now that I think about it, everything I do is live, live accounts. Quick audio check. Quick audio check. If you just coming into the stream, let me know down below if the audio is good. You could just drop like a 1 in the chat or just a yes in the chat real quick for me. Helps me a ton. Want to make sure before I get into all of this stuff on the charts that my audio isn't cooked and I'm not sitting here just talking to myself. So let me know down below. Top of the morning, top of the morning. Top of the morning, top of the morning. Hold on one second, y'all. Let me actually. So let me know down below. Okay, I can see the audio. Bam, bam. All right, cool. Let me pull this phone up right here. Okay, cool. All right, audio should be good now. Yeah, I haven't streamed in over a month now. It was Ramadan, so Ramadan just ended. I was pretty much fasting pretty much every day. Didn't take as many trades either, honestly. Didn't take as many trades, but I will say the things that I'm going to talk about today are going to be really important. Honestly, I think they're going to be really important. I think I have learned so much. What's good, Brown Sugar? What's up? Good morning. How do you get your levels? I'll go over that in a second. But a lot of the things that I've learned over this month, it has really been key. You know, I've taken far less trades than I think I ever have. Ever since starting trading back in like 2022. I think this is the least amount of trades I've ever taken in a month, and I feel so much better about it because the trades that I've taken, I've sized up on them. I've had way more confidence in the setups that I've taken, and yeah, like I just feel like I feel way better off now. So I hope to help you do the same. If you're new to trading, honestly, I just want to give you as much game as possible. Hopefully you can take it and run with it and make some money. Majority of the people that I try to teach are people who work 9 to 5s or have kids, because obviously you're going to be impacted the most. So yeah, we'll talk about it today. All right, we'll talk about it today. Saturday, while we got the charts open, because we're going to go over things that we took this week. Yes, we're going to go over things that we took this week. We're going to go over the landscape of the market, how to really analyze things, how to take far less trades than you absolutely need to. And I think the first place to start off is making sure that you're informed, right? There's a lot of information online, and I'll never throw shade to anyone who creates content or has their own education and stuff like that. Hey, to each is their own. I just want people to win, right? The first thing here is I actually want to pull up CVX. Who knows what CVX is? Who knows what CVX is? What's the indicators called? So this is actually a custom built indicator that I built out for my community. So this indicator that marks out the orb highs and the orb lows. It marks out the fair value gaps. It marks out your key levels like previous day highs, previous day lows, previous week highs and lows. I actually coded this myself and built this for my members in my Discord. So I basically took a bunch of indicators that I liked that were missing certain things, and I basically built one myself that has all the things that I wanted to have. So exactly, shout out to Maya. Yes, so CVX is an oil focused stock or an oil based stock, right? And the thing I want to talk about today is who could guess why you would want to trade oil? Let me know in the chat. Who could guess why you would want to trade oil? Shout out to Brian. Shout out to Brown Sugar. Shout out to Kobe. Shout out to Jonathan. Exactly, because of the war, right? So if you've been living under a rock, you know about the Iran and U.S. focused war. Okay. Now, what I will say about this scenario, okay, let me actually move this over here. Let me know. Drop a 1 in the chat if y'all can see my charts clean. If everything is clean right now, like the quality isn't dropping on the stream. I haven't streamed in over a month, so I just want to make sure everything is good because there's things going on with Iran versus U.S. Shout out to Maya on top of it. Okay, cool. Perfect. All right. So, where can I get this indicator? It's only for TSA, which is my group, and right now it's closed. I'll probably open some spots up at the end of today's class because we're doing an in-person event in Atlanta, April 10th through the 12th. So it's only for people with TSA. So I may open up some spots later towards the end of this this stream. So that way, a couple of y'all can have a chance to come to the in-person event if you're in Atlanta. How many of you are in Atlanta, Georgia right now? Let me know. So this entire, I would say, month, I was really just focused on trading oil, right? One of the things to keep in mind is when there's geopolitical events, and what I mean by geopolitical events, I mean things that are going on outside of just the U.S. that could be potentially affecting not only our economy but other economies as well. One of the things that I like to make sure is I look at different sectors. How many of you are informed on sectors? What all are you teaching in the class? So the in-person event is just going over pretty much everything. Yo, what's up, TSA here? Yo, what's good, JG? Good morning, Nancy. Good morning, Joy. Sahara, good morning. How many of you are informed on the sectors? If you're not, just say, I'm not, or no. And then if you are, just drop a yes. This will kind of help me dictate how I'll kind of go about this conversation. Okay, so let me see. I am, no, yes, no. Okay, so basically what the sectors are in the market, okay, think of it like this. Like if you go into a grocery store, there's different aisles for different things, right? No, this is my only account, Fabian. You could block all the other accounts. Basically what the sectors are of the market is basically different aisles in a grocery store, right? So specific things, right? So there's the tech sector, right? And there's a particular ticker that you can trade for the tech sector. So if I wanted to look up, the different sectors, you can just type in XL right here. And inside of TradingView, let me actually move this over if it lets me. It actually doesn't. So XL, right? Actually, I should probably just pull it up on a website, shouldn't I? Probably not. I'll just keep it in TradingView. So this is XLK, right? XLK is the tech sector. XLK is the tech sector. So a lot of times when there's geopolitical events or when there's massive things going on in the world, money flows from one sector to another sector. And, the biggest thing is you got to understand that smart money. What is smart money? These are the people on Wall Street. These are the people who are trading with hundreds of millions of dollars or millions of dollars, right? They are moving money continuously, okay? And this is why you get these really big candlesticks like these, where you can see that smart money is de-sizing or de-risking from the tech sector. So what will be in the tech sector? Who can take a guess? What are some tech stocks that would be in the tech sector? And if you're a little bit newer to all of the trading stuff and things like that, promise I got you. I want to make sure you're informed first before you start learning how to trade. You can look at a chart and you can make an analysis, but options trading is a little bit different than futures trading. You have to know the macro level events that are going on before you just take a trade, and I think if you're an options trader, you want to get into options and you like the idea of being able to, really truly grow small accounts. You don't want to deal with prop firms. You don't want to deal with limitations on your trading. I do think options trading will be great for you. So yeah, exactly. NVIDIA, Apple, exactly. AMD, IBM, exactly. Great job, y'all. Microsoft, exactly. So these are all tech focused stocks, right? So these would all be in the tech sector, XLK. So what does this mean? If Microsoft and Apple and NVIDIA are all pulling back at the same time, you can see that the tech sector will pull back as well, which is XLK. So let me show you how I used this month when it came to trading. I actually went a little bit of a different route this entire month. I didn't really trade QQQ. I didn't really trade SPY. I didn't take one SPY trade at all this week, and I still closed the week out green. And the only thing that I was doing, I was just trading oil. Why was I trading oil? So Chef MJ, what's good, bro? Hope all is well, man. Top of the morning. All I did this entire month was trade oil. As the tension started to increase between Iran and the US and Israel, as everything started to get worse, I was trading the oil stocks because those are the ones that are going to be massively affected to the upside. So what would be the oil or energy sector? Who can tell me? What is the ticker for the energy sector? And I promise, if you're new to this, I promise it's going to make so much sense. Just give me a little bit of time. I just need a little bit of your time. But I want to make sure you have context before you just start doing some of this stuff. I know there's a lot of people who teach on trading and stuff like that, but I just want to make sure you're informed, you know what I mean, before you make any decisions with your money. What ticker is the energy sector? Yo, can I pay you for a call to get everything set up? No, I'm not charging you anything to do any of that stuff. Just sit back and chill. You know, watch some of my YouTube videos, watch these streams. I put all the information out for free. All right, XLE, okay, XLE. XLE is the energy sector. Okay, so oil focused stocks, right? So Nene, shout out to Nene, they said Exxon. Exxon Mobil is a oil stock, right? Shell, exactly. Shout out to Jordan. Yes, Shell is an oil stock. If you look at Chevron, right? We was just talking about Chevron. I'll show you. These are the two trades that I was pretty much taking this entire month, and I'm going to show you how I traded those sectors as well. All right. So here's XLE, right? This is the energy sector. The first thing I want to do is I want to show you guys this on a daily time frame. Now, why would I want to show you this on a daily time frame? Let me actually delete some of these lines. I'll show you guys how I find my levels as well. Some of you asked me about how I find them. It's actually really simple because the way that I trade support and resistance and the strat. That's literally it. And then I have a custom built indicator to mark out my key levels. So like right here, this says previous week lows, previous month highs. So these are just key support and resistance levels on higher time frames. You know, one of the things that I'll do is, like for this example right here, if price is pulling back to a previous week low, which is right here, and I'm telling you, like, you know, I know a lot of people overcomplicate trading, which is why I like doing these streams. I like meeting new people and you know, doing my best to make sure I can help people where I can. Obviously, none of this is financial advice, but I've been doing this since 2022, and I've been long-term investing since 2020. I've shown my profits and realized gains multiple times on this stream. So I just want to make sure that everyone's informed and understand that you're learning from someone who's actually been doing this for a little bit of time. So the first thing I want to show you is that price was reacting the same way off of this key level, right? So this is a previous week low. So this is I think this was on a Friday, and then this was the prior week's Friday, right? So notice how price gave you the same reaction. Price came down, sold off, and it reached a level, and then it broke out higher, and then it retested the same level and broke out higher, and it ended up breaking out its all-time highs. So let me just show you guys how I was trading oil this entire month, right? Like this entire month, you know, March 2nd from right here, this downside move back to this pump. I'm gonna show you just every trade that I took, okay? So the first thing you gotta keep in mind before just taking these trades is the headlines. So with the type of trader that I am, I trade something called Catalyst. I want you to type that down below in the chat. It's called Catalyst. Catalyst. Type that down below in the chat real quick for me. Wow, 368 people in here right now. I've been streamed in over a month. It's an honor to have all of you. My name is Tez, if you don't know who I am. I've been in the stock market. I prioritize myself as an investor. I think day trading is great. I think the bulk of the money that you really want to make is going to be through swinging shares, which is buying shares and holding them for 6 to 8 months or sometimes 10 to 12 months, and sizing huge on those and really buying quality stocks. So that is my focus. I day trade as well, but it's kind of like a side gig from, you know, my main thing, which is swinging shares. But I like teaching options and talking about options with the hopes that some of you who work a 9 to 5 or have children can actually apply this to yourself and educate your family. Yo, I just switched from YouTube. I was just on there. Yo, what's up, Jeff? What's good, bro? All right, cool. So what exactly is a catalyst, right? Exactly, CKSR. This is a system that I trade. I'm just gonna give it to you guys for free, the whole system and how I trade it. So that way you can go out there and you can apply it yourself, and hopefully you can come back to another stream in the future, or you can comment under one of my posts or one of my trading videos or something like that and say, yo, this thing worked for me, or it didn't work for me. Either way, I like the input. What's good, David? Welcome in, man. So basically I trade something called Catalyst, and what I use for Catalyst, is it okay if I pull up a browser real quick for y'all? I want to show you guys where I find my news at. Is that okay? Drop a yes real quick for me if that's okay with y'all. What is the indicator? This is a custom built indicator. I built this one myself. cool. All right, let me show you guys where I find all of my news. Let's go here. Should be good right here. All right, so the first place that I find my news, actually, let me show y'all this. So number one, I'll show y'all my first spot. In my Discord, I have an AI agent or a bot that sends out these morning briefs right here. And every single morning, my bot pulls all of the data that I would normally have to find myself on articles and things like that. It pulls all the data and it sends it out to me and my members. So every single morning, I read this entire brief. So as you guys can see, Friday, March 20th, it shows me number one, where the markets are at. So where's QQQ at? Where's SPY at? Where's IWM at? I use where these prices are, where the indices are, to determine where the rest of the market could potentially go. And I use support and resistance to see what levels we're breaking and where we're holding. All right. We also break down pre-market movers, which would be, you know, things that are gapping up or gapping down, right? Things from my watch list. So things that normally are on my watch list, like Micron, which is MU, AMD, ABGO, NVIDIA, and Google. This gives me an idea of where I can look for new opportunities in the market that I probably wouldn't have looked at in the morning if I was just opening up a chart and trying to look for it myself. Now, Catalyst, like I said, this is something I pay attention to all the time. On Friday, we had a $5.7 trillion triple witching, right? So if you never heard of OPEX Friday, OPEX Friday was yesterday. This is when simultaneously multiple expirations on contracts, on options contracts, are expiring at the same time. And on top of that, we had an S&P 500 rebalancing. Basically, during the inside of the S&P 500, inside of the SPY indice, there was one company that was taken out and one company that was put in, right? It's a rebalancing. So today is the largest March options expiration on record. So if you traded yesterday and you did not know why there was so much selling pressure, it's because there was a lot of expirations or a lot of contracts expiring at the same time, number one. Number two, we also broke a massive key level, which I'll break down to you guys in a little bit as well. If y'all are still with me, comment track down below. I want to make sure I didn't lose too many of y'all. So this is another part that's really important right here, which is the market news. Most of y'all right now are probably searching a bunch of different websites to find all the news articles and things like that. I have an AI bot that is constantly researching the news every single hour of the day and updating me and my Discord, right? So inside of here, Strait of Hormuz near closed, right? Iran war disrupting 20% of the global oil. We knew this since like 2.5 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, which is why we were only trading oil primarily. We also know that the FOMC was recent, right? So they kept the rates the same at 3.75%, right? There was an 11-1 vote, meaning that they were, you know, really confident in their positioning on holding rates. We also seen what GDP was looking like, which is overall economic growth, and then an economic calendar. On top of this, my bot also goes through the market and it bases where the indices are and gives me specific setups that I may want to look out for. So what to watch. SPY key levels are 655 through 660. Watch for a pin action or a sharp break into the close. No, this is not pre-recorded. QQQ 588 to 592 range. This is a 4-hour broadening formation, all that good stuff, right? So let's say you're not a part of TSA and you can't get access to something like this. You know, I have an AI bot that does a lot of work for me, like autonomously. So I have another computer on a Mac Mini that does work for me, and I have it do certain stuff for me and my group. So like even stuff like this, market tweets, when there's new updates in the market. I know a lot of Discord groups probably have something like this, but we have this updating people all the time. So here are the top 15 performers of 2026, you know, news on FedEx. So I trade Catalyst, right? Does this make sense now as to why I trade Catalyst? Does this make sense? Let me know down below in the chat. Guys, my Discord is closed right now, but if you guys want like some free information, there's a live class that I'm hosting tonight. I think it's right here. Is it right here? I think it's right here. Or no, I think it's right here. Do y'all see this orange little arrow button right here? Or am I tripping? Should be like right here or something. No? No orange and white arrow? Like right here? Yeah, y'all can sign up for a free class right there. That's 100% free. Yeah, for all my people who are a little less informed or not too savvy on this stuff. It's on your right. Okay. Yeah, it's right here. Yeah, y'all can just click that. It's just free information on there. Or you can just watch my YouTube videos. It's on there as well. The class is just like a live breakdown. So if you want to join something like that, that's fine. Or not. That's cool too. So let me actually show you guys the actual browser. So what where do I have my bot doing research? Okay, so the first place I have it pulling is from CNBC.com. Okay, now there are specific articles that I have it reading from specific authors on CNBC. So if you guys didn't know, there's different writers for each article that they're posting on CNBC. Okay, what I end up doing is I have my bot looking for this specific person's name at a certain time of the day to post an article. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's a free class. You don't have to worry about paying for tickets and shit like that. How do you know which day is mass expiration day? It literally alerts you on CNBC during OPEX Friday. That's just what it's called. So I want you to type that down below. OPEX Friday. I want all of y'all to type that down below. OPEX, OPEX Friday. And you can always Google it as well. And it'll pull up the dates of the upcoming OPEX Fridays. Yes, yeah. Shout out to Liz. Yes, OPEX Friday. Amazing, 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 amazing. So first things first, like I said, I have my bot doing this for me. You can easily do it yourself. Okay, you can easily do this yourself. So basically, you're coming into this right during the hours during the pre-market time. I ideally recommend doing it during those times because that's when most of the updated hours are or updated articles are coming out. But you could come in and you can start reading a lot of these articles. So for me, every morning for about 30 to 45 minutes, I would just come in and I would read articles from CNBC. I want y'all to type that down below. I'm going to move to the next site. But the first one is CNBC. Type that down below. Type that down below. CNBC. How did you program the Discord to do that? It's not through Discord. It's through OpenClaw. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but it's an autonomous bot that I basically bought and coded myself. If you haven't heard of it, it's crazy. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah, but I just use it for that. Okay, so CNBC. Next up is Seeking Alpha. Seeking Alpha is slept on. Seeking Alpha is another platform. I truly, truly love this platform. The reason I like this platform so much, let me actually do this like this. So the information on Seeking Alpha is going to be slightly different from what's on CNBC. So the reason I like this is because I can immediately come in and I can see what stocks are being hit. So for example, Supermicro crashes after Chinese smuggling allegations. SMCI, which is a company we sent out yesterday, was down 33% yesterday. And then I can click on this article and I can now read on this article right here. So every morning I was basically doing all of this work myself. Now I just have my bot doing it and summarizing everything for me. Okay, you guys see how this could like save you a ton of time. So you can just come in and you can read on this. So this is Catalyst, right? This is where you're doing information through or finding information through articles, through headlines, through geopolitical events. It might be a Trump tweet. It might be Iran responding to something in a news article. Like I'm using these things to gauge what could potentially affect the market. Make sense? Shorting oil is the easiest way to make money. I don't know about that. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. Okay, let me get some yeses or ones in the chat if this is making sense so far. So these are verified platforms, PassionPape. So these are all verified by the authors. These authors are literally hand checked before just posting an article on Seeking Alpha or CNBC. Okay. Okay, cool. So like I said, the first thing that I use is something called Catalyst, right? That's where I'm doing massive research. Okay. Now, the second thing, right, is my key levels. So someone asked me about key levels. So this indicator that I have, not these blue lines, I marked these out myself, but these indicators like this purple, this green, so on and so forth, these green boxes, which are fair value gaps. I built this this indicator myself. It's only for my members in the Discord. And again, I'm not here to sell you on anything. This is my first day back on the stream. If you want to get some free information, just come to the live class right here. But TSA is currently closed. We are hosting an in-person event on in April 10th through the 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. So if you're out here, we would love to have you. But it is a TSA only event, and right now we're closed. Maybe I'll open up some spots towards the end of this stream. But we already got 80 people reserved for that in-person event, so I think it'll be really dope. Okay. So when it comes to these levels, right, all I'm doing is I'm watching the headlines and I'm seeing where price is relative to where that article is. So what do I mean by that? I look at where the levels are, right? So for example, last week we traded this setup right here, which was the break of the all-time highs of XLE. Okay. So XLE is the energy sector. The reason I ended up trading XLE this past week, right, was because of there was another bombing in Iran of one of their main oil refineries. And what a lot of people don't understand is when you have catalysts or moments like this where things are going to massively affect oil, you have to be willing to take the bet and take the trade on a setup where it's breaking all-time highs. You have more limitations or more issues geopolitically right now. I know I'm saying a lot of big words. I'm probably losing so many people, but it's important to say these words. It's important for you to be informed at the end of the day, right? But essentially what we're ended up doing is we were looking for a breakout of its all-time highs. We then had the catalyst, which is the bombing of the oil refinery. That oil refinery in Iran made up, I think, 16% of the overall oil production, right? It made up around 16% of oil production in the world. So with something like that, it's a no-brainer to look and say, hey, obviously oil is going to continue going up in price, right? And then that's all we were doing. Does that make sense? Like, we literally just found it from the article itself, seeing that the escalation was happening. They bombed an important refinery in Iran. We also had XLE at all-time highs, and we just took the break and we just swung it. Why would it go up? So if an oil refinery is being bombed, right, that means it's limiting the oil production. If there's a limitation on supply, then the demand goes up. Everything is based off supply and demand. Think of it like that. So if you can't get oil, right, like the Strait of Hormuz, it is a pathway for, exactly. So the value of it increases. The supply lessens and the demand goes up, which means that the price is going to go higher. Does that make a little bit more sense? So that was how we found the trade. We seen an article overnight, Israel bombed an Iran refinery. The next morning, the market gapped up, right? And it gapped above its all-time highs. It gave us a retest. We just took the entry and ended up taking off. Literally, it's that simple. You know, we ended up taking Chevron too, which was here. This was the exact trade that I took above 194.63. Okay, I closed it out in this same day. So let me actually show you guys this trade, because it was a very textbook trade. Where's 194 at? Right here. This was a very, very textbook trade right here during this day. Okay. Yeah, I closed out this trade same day. So why did I take this trade? Number one, 194.63 was a key level, right? It was a previous all-time high, right? This was a previous all-time high. So basically what I did is I seen that, again, the Iran situation, Trump was tweeting about it and saying how much they're spending on the war. And then Iran came out and they were saying like, hey, you know, they were saying a bunch of different stuff, right? And I was basically keeping up with it on Twitter. So if you didn't know, you know, Twitter is a great place to get a lot of information as well. So I get a lot of tweets from there. I get it pinged straight to my phone, and then it also comes to the Discord. So I'm always up to date on things, right? Exactly. There's boots on the ground now out in Iran. So these are things escalating, right? And as these things escalate over an oil, right, over an oil war, basically, right, oil price continues to go higher. Okay. Are y'all tracking me? Is everybody still with me? Drop a yes down below in the chat real quick if you're still with me. He's speaking facts though, y'all. Yeah, I think people try to trade options and they try to only look at the chart. If you don't have the fundamental side of things, it's going to be very hard for you to get to the level that you really want to get to. That's just my honest opinion. Okay. Now, if you want to listen to me or not, that's completely up to you. That's just my honest opinion. If you don't understand the catalyst or the fundamental side of things, you're just, you know, you can trade QQQ. You can trade just, you know, SPY. But the thing is this, right? If you look at, so there's something called a divergence, right? There's something called a divergence. I want y'all to listen to this. The divergence is this. When price and energy starts going up, a lot of the times, most of the times, right, tech starts to go down. That's why it's called sector rotation. They're rotating money. Think of it as an investor. Think of you as being an investor or a trader. You want to take your money and place it in the place where it has the highest probability of going up, right? Comment one down below if you agree with me. When you're dealing with money, you want to place it in an area where it has a high probability of making more money, right? You're not putting in money to lose money, right? Basically adding real life events and setups on the charts together. Ooh, you a bad? Appreciate you, Cortez. Yeah, this is literally all I do. I use Catalyst, I use key levels, and then I use the strat for my entries. And then it's all about risk management after that and how you manage the trade. This is literally all I do. I know people like do all this other stuff. That's just not me. I like to have a full analysis of the market because I do invest in the stock market too. Like, I want everyone to understand that options trading is great money. Day trading is great money. But let me tell you, when you learn how to swing shares, when you learn how to take massive events that pull the market down and buy off key support levels, and you hold for 6, 8, 9 months, you know, I would love to show y'all. I'll probably show y'all one of my accounts today. But I'll show you how, like, I've made $240,000 in 1 year just from doing that. Now, granted, my position sizing are really big on there, but I don't have to deal with contracts. I don't have to deal with Greeks. It works if you're a 9 to 5. If you work a 9 to 5, it works if you have children. There's just less risk associated than day trading and less time associated with it too. You have to know to do both. Exactly. Right? So let me show you guys this, right? So when this event started happening, right, this is called an actionable signal. Okay. Is TSA open right now? I'm ready to join. No, it's not open at the moment. Sorry. We do have an in-person event coming up April 10th through the 12th. What I'll do is I'll probably open up some spots towards the end of this stream. But again, I'm not trying to sell y'all on my group. I just would like to have you in the in-person event. So, you know, if you want to come to that in Atlanta, Georgia, we would love to have you. It's illegal to show profits as a creator and investor. You know what? I did. Wall Street Trapper actually told me that. I think he received something from like a lawyer or something like that, that it's actually, if you're teaching people anything and you show numbers. But the thing is like in this space, it's like I'm so tempted to, because it's like I still be doing it sometimes. I probably should be careful. But in this space, there's so many people who are not doing it. You know what I mean? Like what I mean by that is like they're not actually profitable. You know what I mean? Like, just being honest with y'all, like there's a lot of people teaching it who don't actually have the profits to back it. And like I've shown my profits multiple times on here, and not to kind of shut the haters up or nothing like that, but sometimes it is for me to do that. But you know, it's just important that y'all are learning from people who are actually doing it. You know what I mean? Exactly. Results may vary. Yeah, I got to just be a little bit more careful on a lot of things. But again, I want to say this again. A lot of the major profits that you want to have, okay, listen to this. A lot of the major profits you want to have, you want to make sure that you guys are doing long term. You want to do to long term. Okay. So let's talk about this trade right here. So this is called an actionable signal, this 3 bar. And this was actually coming straight into my key level here. So I took a break of a key level, right? So a lot of y'all are familiar with breaks and retest, right? Sector rotation, Kalia. Why don't you live trade anymore on TikTok? I was fasting from Ramadan, so I was also fasting from social media. I was doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff as well, buying like dollar cost averaging and sell then repeat. So I have like a dollar cost averaging long term account, but I have a swinging share account. Why is there a military helicopter right here? That's crazy. Long term is slow money. It's very slow. A lot of people don't like that though. You know what I mean? But I'm not here to tell you what you should like or what you shouldn't like. I'm a very boring person. You know what I mean? Like I make, you know, anywhere from $100,000 to $200,000 a year just from, I'll buy Robinhood stock off of a 72-day moving average or a 100-day moving average, right? I'll buy the stock there with $40,000, with $25,000, depending on where the rest of the market is at. And then I'll wait 5 to 6 months or 8 months, right? And then that level might be at $60. If it moves back to $40, right? That's a 40%, or what is that? 40%? What return is that? I think that's a 60% return on my capital. So you put $25,000 on it or $50,000 on it. You know what I mean? You make a 60% return on it, right? You make a little over, you know, $25,000 or something around there. That's literally how I do it. That's literally how I pay for my rent. That's how I pay for like this penthouse that y'all see me in right now. This is how I pay for this stuff. It's very simple. It's very boring. It does take a fucking minute though, and you gotta have balls of fury to be able to drop 50K or 25K or 100K at a time on a specific position. I'm not gonna lie, and most people don't have that type of capital, which is why options trading is great. Yeah, but it's less risk. It's less risk as well. I do day trade as well, options. Shifting more into swinging though, but. What about tax implications? So this is a great hack. That's a great question. Shout out to Jam. So I got blasted on taxes by doing this my very first year. My very first year of doing this, I had made around $70,000. At the time, I was running an e-commerce brand, and I was just kind of dumping all of my online business money into the market. And I had made $70,000 in profit in the stock market through swinging shares, which is buying and holding shares for a long period of time. And I was actually doing this back when interest rates were around 2.5%, 3%. So here's what I did. When the interest rates were low and I wanted to sell some of these positions, I just borrowed against my stock account. So listen to this, right? Listen to this. I was buying a bunch of shares of companies that pay out dividends, right? So they would pay out dividends either monthly or quarterly, which means I would get paid a check for all of the shares that I was owning, right? And here's what I was doing. As I was trusting in where the market was at, right, we had pulled back. I had bought a bunch of dividend stocks. The interest rates were really low. And all I did is I kept holding those stocks that were paying me dividends every month. And the price of the stock was still going up, right? The couple of them is Iron Mountain. You can look at Iron Mountain. That was the first one that I did it in. The second one was Energy Transfer, which is ET. ET, Energy Transfer, they pay a dividend. Right. There was also SPG, which is Simon Property Group. It's a real estate. It's a REIT, right? Where, they buy malls and shopping plazas and things like that. And then they put tenants in it. And then as an investor into this company, they give you a percentage of what they make from their tenants, like their monthly revenue that's coming in or the monthly profits. They give you a percentage of it. So I was buying these dividend paying stocks when the market had pulled back. I'm just holding them, right? Because I thought, hey, the price could go up and I'm getting paid a dividend on top of it. As the market was moving up and the interest rates were lower, I just borrowed against my stock account, which means that this money was tax free. Does that make sense? Hopefully I didn't lose too many of y'all. So my first year of doing this whole swinging shares stuff, I got blasted on taxes. That was my first really big tax bill. And I learned a really key lesson that number one, paying for the right accountant can save you millions of dollars. And then number two, learning how to borrow against your account. Let me know if that makes sense or if I need to simplify this. Hopefully that made some sense though. Yo, we only have 4,500 likes. Real quick, can y'all give me the 25K likes? 25K likes and I'll give you guys all the indicators that you'll need. It wasn't profits, it was borrowing against your trust. The first time that I did it, I sold all the profits and I had to pay taxes on it. Now what I do is if I don't close out the position, I'll just borrow against the account. How do you borrow? I use something called M1 Finance. So I can borrow against my stock account through there. What company you use to borrow against your account? M1 Finance. That's where I invest for myself, my daughters, all that stuff. Can you clarify how you got blasted on taxes? So let's say you buy some stocks, right? Let's say you buy some stocks and it goes up 50% and you sell it for a 50% gain. You have to pay capital gain taxes on those stocks that you just sold. And right now, you're getting taxed at 60%. So think about this. When I was doing this, I got taxed at a 60% rate from a capital gain standpoint. Once I paid that check, once I paid the IRS that shit, I said, I'm never doing that again. Never doing that again. So now what I do is yes, 60%. If y'all don't know, I'm partnered with a tax firm as well. So all members of TSA, they get a free call with a certified CPA. They're one of the top tax firms in the country. Yes, that was $38,000 my first year was my real amount of money that I had to pay to the IRS. And I did not know. You got to think, at this time, I'm 22 years old. I had an e-commerce brand that was doing over $30,000 a month. And I was just dumping money into the market. My margins on my e-commerce brand were around 78%. Right? So as I started to learn more about this stuff, there's just, there's certain stuff that people don't tell you, man. Like When you make money, the problems get bigger with the money that you make. No one talk like I haven't received an actual refund check since like I was like 18 and I was working at Abercrombie and Fitch. Right? Like this is real life stuff. I know y'all want to make a lot of money in the market, and you can. You just got to be careful with how you're taking profits. And this is why for me now, when I'm doing a lot of my long-term investments, I'm just borrowing against the account. So what does it mean when you borrow against your account? So in M1 Finance, they have this feature called the borrow feature. Basically, whatever money I leave in their brokerage, right, which is the same thing as like a bank, but it allows me to invest and do all those things, right? I want y'all to listen to this, right? Listen. When you put it in M1 Finance, the borrow feature says, hey, whatever money you have in here, we'll give you a loan up to 35% against it. So let me reword that so it can make a little bit more sense. So if let's say you put $100,000 in an M1 Finance account and you invested into some stocks, you got $100,000 invested in their platform, right? Across the stocks, you're just holding it on their platform. What they're open to doing is they want to make money off of your money, right? Or they want to make money off of you. So here's how it works, right? What happens is you take a loan against your account. So they'll say, hey, we'll give you 35%, which means you could pull a $35,000 loan directly from M1 Finance, and they'll deposit the money straight into your bank account within the first 24 hours. There's no credit checks. There's no credit checks. There's no, we got to check your job or your income. There's none of that. It's solely based off of your assets. And this is what you need to understand, right? When you take that money, it is tax-free. It is a loan. So what I do is I invest my money in the market, right? I invest my money in the market through M1 Finance. I borrow against the account. I pull the money tax-free while my investments stay there, stay growing. I'm investing in quality things, right? This is another important thing. You don't just dump it into bullshit. You got to invest into quality things. You got to do your research. You got to understand the financials of the company. You got to understand the net profits of the company. You got to understand the revenue. What are they investing in? What are their assets? Are they accumulating more assets? Are they accumulating more debt? What is the CEO doing? What is the trajectory of the company? What is the top competitors? What are their main products? These are things that I do deep research on. I have a notebook. Damn, I actually don't know where it is. I have a notebook where I do research on every single company that I invest in long term because I need to understand every single one of these components. What is their EPS, right? Earnings per share. Like, these are all things you have to understand, right? And I know a lot of this seems like, shit, this is a lot. But like, you want to be if you really want to do this at a high level, you have to be informed. The difference between where you want to get to and where you are right now is just information. The difference between where you want to get to and where you are right now is just information. It might either be A, information, or B, a connection or a relationship with a specific person. So I didn't learn this stuff, right, until I got around people who were making millions of dollars a year through the market and through real estate and through a couple different avenues. And I didn't learn these things. So you just got to get around the right people. Like, joining these types of streams, if you haven't already, somewhere at the top of the screen, you can hit the follow button and you can hear more about this stuff. I post this information for free. I post it on YouTube. I post it on TikTok. Do I have a Discord community where people pay me? Absolutely, because the information that I've accumulated has made me over six figures, multiple six figures. So of course I'm going to, have people pay me for the information, but I also post it for free as well for the people who can't afford it. Okay. So actually, I want to actually just show y'all, just so you know I'm not capping around this. M1 Finance, borrow. Okay, so exactly, it's called a portfolio line of credit. So look at this. So M1 Finance, right? Get liquidity for less. Oh, so they moved it up to 50%. That's fucking insane. When I was doing this, huge loans, it was only 35%, or maybe it is 35% for my size account. I don't know. Landis, what's good, bro? Ethan, that's a great question. What do you do with the borrowed money? Let me explain that to you. All right, I'm going to explain that to you. Let me just walk y'all through this. Again, guys, this is not financial advice. This is something that I personally do. This is something that I'm going to be teaching my daughters because I am a dad. I invest for my children. I have two daughters, 8 and 2. So I invest for my daughters right now. My 8-year-old has a little under $50,000 as a net worth in investments in her accounts. My 2-year-old, I think she only has like 4,000, but it's different because I invest differently for both of their ages. And I invest in only quality companies. I invest only in quality company. So look at this, right? I want to show y'all this. How many of you have went to a bank and gotten a loan before? Actually, let me ask y'all that. This is funded for options, fam. No. This is for long-term stuff or swinging shares. Exactly, Stan. I'm gonna explain that as well. What do you do with the money when you borrow from your account? I'm gonna talk about that. Okay, so yes, I've never had a loan. I got bad credit. So this is the perks of using this, right? There is no credit check with this. You can have a negative 300 credit score and you can still get access to this capital through M1 Finance because it's not something based off your credit. It is based off of assets. So, the people that I hang around, like even my mentor right now, I have two mentors. One has made $34 million in the stock market. And yes, I paid him to be my mentor. The second one has made over $250 million in 1 year through e-commerce products. And yes, I paid him to be my mentor. I paid $25,000 for one and $8,000 for the other one. Like, I don't know, everyone wants everything for free. There's just certain levels of information you're just not going to be able to find as easily on YouTube. And I prefer to get my time back. How do you find your mentors? Sometimes you got to go to these in-person events, honestly. Like I go to events where like the tickets are like $1,000 or $4,000 or $7,000 to get into the room. But I want to be around people who are paying that type of money as well. Does that make sense? Like if you show me your 5 closest friends, I'll show you who you'll be in the next 5 years. See what I'm saying? So this is the interest rate, right? You don't gotta get approved for this or nothing. This is all based off of your assets. The best thing about this is if you walked into a bank right now, you're not even getting 6% interest rates from your bank right now. Is this making sense? Like they are giving you they're giving you more competitive rates than any bank right now outside of Navy Federal, Chase if you're a business client. What's the other one called? Chase, Navy Federal. There's another one that has really competitive rates. There's some credit unions that can do it, but I think those are the two main ones, right? Navy Federal. No, Amex is garbage. You're gonna get cooked if you try to go through Amex. Amex and not Amex. Navy Federal and Chase. Those are gonna give you the best rates if you were trying to get a credit-based loan. This is not that. I've heard Ally is pretty good. I've never gotten a loan through them though. I'm talking about the ones that at least I've experienced, right? So this is 5.6% rate, right? So Fidelity right now is 10.5%. Charles Schwab is 10%. Vanguard is 9.5%, and E-Trade is 9.95%. So look how much of a discount you're getting on the interest rates just by going through M1 Finance. And basically, here's how it works, right? This is what it looks like right here, okay? Where basically whatever money is invested in your platform, right, inside of M1 Finance, you just borrow against it, so up to 50%. So if you have a $5,000 account, you can pull $2,500 from M1 Finance. They'll give you a loan, right? And you can go do what you want with that money, right? And you just make the payments back through M1 Finance. And you're only paying 5.6% interest rate. So someone asked me, Wealthfront offers a 4.73, but it's only on 30% of the account value. Okay. That's actually dope. That's dope. Adam, do you work with them or are you currently using them? Sorry to ask, but are you being paid from this company or you have used it? No, I don't get paid from M1 Finance. I would love a partnership with them though. This is just the company I use. This is how I do like all of my loans. Like let's say I have a really big tax bill and I don't want to use my own liquid capital to pay it. I'll pull from my loan. I'll pull against my account and then I'll take the money from my account and I'll invest it into other assets, right? And then I'll take that money, the profits, and then I'll pay back whatever tax loan or the loan itself. Is this making a little bit more sense as we go? I know this is like higher level stockholder and Wealthfront. That's lit. That's dope, man. What was I gonna say? I know this is higher level information. I know some of you are a little lost, but I want you to be informed. You know what I mean? Like, there's way more than just day trading. You know what I mean? Makes sense, but it's risky. So this is the thing though, right? I only invest in quality. I only invest in boring stuff. I can't keep saying like, I can't stress it enough. You got to invest in the boring stuff. You got to invest in the boring stuff, man. You got to invest in the boring stuff. Can y'all just say that in the chat? Buy boring, great companies. It's probably long to say, but that's what I do. I buy great companies that are boring. How do I know if something's a great company, right? Here's what I do. I go over to Yahoo Finance, okay? And let's say it's a company I want to invest in. So now for right now, I use AI to do this research. I used to do all of this manually. Now I have a tracker, an analysis breakdown where my bot researches companies for me based off of their debt levels, assets, where they are, their market, the competition within the same sector or market that they're in. It does all of this research for me and it gives me an analysis and it scores it on whether or not it's something I should be investing in or not. So when people ask me, like, because I make a lot of videos about OpenClaw and these AI agents and agentic AI and things like that, things that I'm using right now. I have 2 Mac Minis. I just ordered a third one. Like I'm automating all of my own tasks. Like it handles my customer support for emails. My Discord is on point. We're getting people more results because I use AI to make our lives easier, to summarize things, to do all these things, right? But what I'm saying is, I used to do everything manually myself. I just use AI to do it. When people are talking about like, oh, show me how your bot makes money right now, or show me how it trades for you, that's not what I use it for. I use it to simplify my own manual tasks. What brokers do you recommend for trading? I like Webull. Webull is good for day trading. I think M1 Finance is best if you're trying to do swinging shares though. Okay. So here's what I do, right? Let's say I want to invest in someone give me a ticker real quick. Can you say day trading is the heart, long-term stock investing? No, long-term is the heart. Day trading is the quick money, which everyone is so fascinated by. I'm telling you, boring money will make you rich. Okay, got a couple AMDs. Actually, Home Depot. Home Depot is a company I actually invested in. Shout out to my grandfather. May God rest his soul. He actually used to take me to Home Depot every single day with him because a lot of you guys don't know me too much, but my mom worked as an overnight nurse, right? So I basically lived with my grandparents for pretty much all my life as well. And every morning my grandfather would take me to Home Depot. He would take me because he owned a construction company, so they would build pools. They would do like fix and flips. Like he would do like all the construction inside the houses and stuff like that, and they would need material. And we went into Home Depot, and he would teach me about, one of his big things. Not saying I don't agree with it, but one of the big things he used to tell me is you got to learn how to do stuff with your hands, right? And he would take me down the pricing. I had to learn about measurements inside of Home Depot and stuff like that. So when I start investing in the stock market, this was one of the first companies I start thinking about. The number one thing people don't think about is like Home Depot and Lowe's are really 2 of the main companies that people go through for construction and builds. Guess what? There's still more houses that need to be built. There's more houses that need to be refurbished and fixed. There's houses that are old that need to be fixed. Where are they getting the supplies from? A lot of people don't know this, but Home Depot, a prime part of where their revenue comes from is renting out equipment. Are y'all still with me? Comment track down below if I didn't lose you right now. Ever think about liens or tax debts? I have a friend who's deep into it. I just haven't done it. I'm actually looking into Section 8s, Section 8 properties, but I would only want to buy them at like lump sums. Like I don't want to do one Section 8 property at a time. But I have a friend who knows someone who does the whole process for you, completely done for you. But it's like $25K per Section 8 house. So for me, it wouldn't make sense unless I'm buying 2 to 4 at a time. So yeah, I go there 4 times a week. Exactly. Right. So HD, great blue chip company. Exactly. It's a phenomenal company. But the thing you need to understand too, is how do you do research on these companies though? Right. Like, yes, it's a great company from that standpoint because I grew up around it and I understand how the business model works. But you also need to know the financials of the company. You can't just solely go based off of your opinion. I always tell people this: opinions will get you cooked. Opinions will get you cooked. You have to go based off of logic. You have to go based off of numbers, real spreadsheets, the financials of a company, right? So where do you find this? So what I'm going to do is I'm on Yahoo Finance. I'm going to go over to the financial sector or financial section of Home Depot. Let me know if you guys drop a 1 in the chat if you guys can see this. There are no Home Depot closest to me, tons of Lowe's. So which one based on data is better? You would have to go to the financials of the company. Okay. Can you guys see this real quick? All right, yeah, y'all can see this. All right. So this is Home Depot. Inside of here, this is where I do a lot of research, right? So I can go to the quarterly standpoint, quarterly section, right? And I can see everything. What is the total revenue, right? Cost of revenue. What is their gross profit? So another thing as well is all these numbers are in thousands. So anytime you see this number, you have to add 3 more zeros to the end, right? You have to add 3 more zeros to the end of each of these numbers, right? So 100, some people might look at this and say, this says 164 million. No, right? This is 3 more zeros at the end, right? So always remember, add 3 zeros to all of these numbers. Okay, this is how you read these financial sheets. So the first sheet is the income sheet, right? The first sheet is the income sheet. The second sheet is the balance sheets, right? This is where I look to see what assets are they acquiring. What are their total liabilities and their outstanding debt, right? I need to see all of these things. I need to see their total debt, right? I need to see the working capital. So what money are they putting out there to acquire assets or to do bills or to do different things? And I'll do deep analysis on each of them. Now, granted, I used to do all of this and write it on a piece of paper, but now I just have a bot that comes in and does it for me. And then, you know, it pretty much saves me hours, which is why I feel like AI is crazy. Cash flow sheets. What is their operating cash flow? How much cash do they have on the sidelines, right? What is their capital expenditure, right? These are all very important things. And I know I'm losing a lot of people because most people are only want to day trade. I am here to tell you day trading is great, but it's not everything. All short-term money that you're making should be going straight to long-term. Make sense? Like, I'm not one of those people on here who are just like, let's like day trade every fucking day. Like, no, man, no. I'm telling you, the people who are making the most money, I get it. You want to do it that way. I was stubborn in my ways as well. When I first got into day trading, I used to think, man, I got to day trade and I got to get rich off day trading. It wasn't until I met people who were really rich, who really lived that life. Like, I'm talking real money. I'm not talking about $1 million. When people say I'm a million, I'm talking about multi-millionaires. I'm talking about 8 and 9 figure earners. I've met quite a few in my life. And all of them, when it comes to the questions that I ask, I just ask great questions. What is the most important thing you would have done? Focus on long term. Think in 10 to 15 year intervals. That's one of the best pieces of advice I've gotten. You know, I heard this quote online and he said, when you're born, you look like your family. When you die, you look like your decisions. When you're born, you look like your parents. When you die, you look like your decisions. And the last thing I want when I get to my deathbed is a long receipt of regret. My grandfather told me that one. Never get to your deathbed with a long list of regret. And this is how I live my life. So like a lot of times when people want to make a bunch of money, like right now, I'm not the person for you. Like I'm not the person that does that. I like to show people a route that actually makes sense, that has been proven over the last fucking century, right? Multiple decades. This is the route. It's proven. If you hold for 10 to 15 year time intervals, if you look at the last 10 to 15 years and the evolution of making sure that you're buying quality companies, right? And you understand, like right now, a great sector to be looking at is the semiconductor space, AI infrastructure, security, right? Cybersecurity is another space. When geopolitical events happen, like wars and stuff like that, you got to look at the defense sector, right? You got to understand how money is flowing from one sector to another. Where is the lump sum of money that people are investing? Where's investors putting their money during times of uncertainty? What are they buying? Why are they buying it? What are the companies? What do they provide? What's the solution? Who's their audience? Like, so hopefully this gives you guys some insights on a lot of these things. I know I'm just jabbering away, but this is how I trade. You know what I mean? Like, I trade from a very long-term perspective thinking as well. So when I'm looking at the market and I'm looking at trading Chevron, right, which is right here, okay, I'm understanding the company itself and what they're doing. So I know that the oil sector is booming. Energy is booming. So if I see that and there's a limitation of supply from the Middle East, which is the primary, right? Iran is the primary, Iran and Venezuela are the primary production countries of oil. and then now there's a war, which means there's a shortage of supply, the demand is going to go up. So when I take this trade, I'm confident in us breaking this all-time highs and then pushing higher. So this was my exact trade that I took. 194.60 was the entry. We had a 3-bar, which was also confirming that we had broke the downside of the previous candle and we got bought back up. So buyers are here. It closed with a pretty nice candle close. We had a break above, and then you just take the entry. As soon as it breaks above, you wait for a 5-minute candle close. So this is what it looks like. Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Did I just lose it? Where we at? Hold on, let me show y'all what it looks like on the actual entry side. Where is it? No. Okay, here it is right here. So look, this is, so you're an investor, not a trader. I do both, but I primarily categorize myself as an investor. I think if someone just said I was only a day trader, I think I would take that as disrespect. Now let me stop. I'm just kidding. I do think that being an investor is long-term going to be better for you. Are the tax implications the same with options? No, they're different. There's short-term capital gains tax and there's long-term capital gain tax. What's up, Tina? TSA for life. What's up? So take a look at this, right? This was my actual entry. So when I'm taking my entries, I drop down to the 5-minute time frame. Why do I wait for a 5-minute time frame? Depending on the setup, I'll either look for a break and a close above my entry or a break and a retest. So on the 5-minute time frame, this is a break and a retest right here, y'all. So we ended up breaking above my level, right? This is a key level right here that I was looking for my entry at. So we broke and closed, right? I waited for the next candle to retest. We closed above my key level. Okay, we closed above my key level. I took the entry right here. When this next candle opened and it broke above this previous candle, which is right here. When we broke above this level, this was my entry. Once we broke above, it's just set and forget now. You set and forget. So now you have multiple targets. What I do is when you're in all-time high territory, especially on a company like Chevron, I just target $2 intervals. So what do I mean by that? So I took my entry at 194.60. My first target would be at around 196.50. This is target 1. My second target would be at 198.50, target 2. And then my third target would be 200, which is a round psychological number. This is how I trade, literally. Like, if you're in TSA, shout out to Jeff. I know Jeff's in here. Jeff, can you let the people know in the chat real quick? Is this not how we do everything? And it's just a specific system. It's called CKSR. There's the catalyst, which gives you the understanding of the fundamental side of things. There's the key levels, which is the technical side of things. It's the strat, which is actionable signals and getting in, and where to get in, when to get out. And then risk management. All right, so shout out to Jeff. He's in TSA as well. This is literally all I do. I teach literally all of this. Like, even the long-term stuff that I was talking about, like, understand, like, I go way further in depth than just this stream. Like, I've been on here for an hour, and you know, I mean, I can only get so much out in an hour. Even if I stayed on for 4 hours, there's only so much information I can get out. Like, our curriculum in my Discord is the day trading one is 25 hours. The long-term investing one is 8 hours. Like, I can't cram all of that into 4 hours. Does that make sense? Which do you like better for long-term then, swing trading or just buying shares and holding for a long time? What I'm leaning more towards now, like, swinging shares is definitely the better thing for me personally. But I do think that doing leaps with swinging shares is a phenomenal combination. Yeah, I'm at 93% done. Let's go, Jeff. Proud of you, man. Is options trading worth it? I think so. Derek, so here's what I would say. I wouldn't look for the easy option. I would look for the option that you would stay in for the long time, for the long term. So when people ask me is thank you, Nancy, for the roses. When people ask me is like Forex easier than futures, or is futures easier than options? I don't look at things from an easier standpoint. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really matter which one is easier, which one fits your personality. And you kind of got to test them to see which one fits you. Me, options trading works for me. I want to know about companies. I want to understand what companies are profitable, what are great companies to invest in. I want to know these things. That's just me though. A lot of people don't want to know that. So then doing something else may work for you. You know what I mean? What is swinging shares? When you buy shares of a great company at a key support level and you hold them for 6 to 8 months. Can you summarize risk management? Anytime I'm taking a trade, I'm looking to get a 2-to-1 or a 3-to-1 risk to reward. Meaning that anytime I put in money, I want to make sure that for every dollar that I put in, I want to be making back bare minimum $2 back. Can you explain leaps? So basically what options leaps are basically when you buy longer dated expiration contracts. So in an easier way to understand that, right? It's basically instead of day trading, which is you're buying contracts to get in and out today. Leaps is when you're buying contracts that are 2 years out. So it's longer dated expiration contracts, or contracts that expire in 2 years or 3 years. You know what I mean? And you're buying time on them because you believe in the position. Is 8K considered a small account? Yes, it is considered a small account. Don't you still get hit with the premium? And so you don't get hit as much with the theta, depending on what type of contracts you're buying. So all of it varies. In your Discord, what do you teach? Options, long-term futures, or Forex? Options and long-term. For you to do this now for free is awesome. Thank you, new follower. Thank you, I appreciate that. What about taxes? I can't give tax advice because I'm not a tax advisor, which is why I am partnered with one of the top tax firms in the United States. So every member of TSA, this is like a huge added bonus. Every member of TSA gets a free call with a certified CPA at their own expense. So basically the tax firm that I partner with, they cover the cost. So you basically get a free call. They give you an analysis based on what you're doing right now and investing and things like that. And then you're able to kind of see whether or not you would like to use them as a tax team or not. But yeah, every person who joins TSA has a free call that they can take with a certified accountant. My son is learning about this. I've been watching the video. I'm going to look into Discord for my son. Absolutely, Hector. Yeah, I think both of you should join. I think it'll be a really great bonding moment for both of you to be informed on stuff like this. How do we do this with a 9 to 5? My group is literally only for people with 9 to 5s. Literally. Best broker. I like Webull, me personally. Bare minimum, I would say $1,000 on the options trading side. Does this make sense as far as my entry goes? So I took the entry above all-time highs, which was 194.60. I waited for a break and a close above my entry level, and then I waited for the next candle for confirmation to break above, right? And then I took the trade, right? I took some longer dated contracts on these just so I didn't have to deal with the theta on the contracts, which is time decay, right? And yeah, I just bought it. It pulled back, which is another confirmation that we ended up holding this level, and then we broke out. So my first target got hit, my second target got hit, and then I had sold at the second target. Where did I sell at? In this, right? When I seen this chop right here, so let me just show y'all. When price start getting stuck in this range right here, I didn't want to play with my profits. I just took green, right? I just took green where it was at, right? So this choppy phase from 12 all the way up to about 245, yes, it ended up breaking out a little bit higher, but it sold off. The last thing I wanted to do was catch this whole entire move and then give back profits if it wanted to sell off. So I just closed my position out on this small little dip, and I just went about my day. That was about 118% return. Let me show y'all the Discord profits real quick. Trading profits. So this is inside of my Discord community. Again, all of this stuff that I'm teaching right now or talking about right now, we do this in depth live with TSA. So shout out to Baina. She made $18,000 in a day. Mind you, Baina is 57 years old with 6 kids. So whatever excuse you was gonna tell me, I've heard it all, and I've seen people do it with worse. I've seen people do it in worse predicaments. See, that's what I'm learning is patience, because I would have jumped right before hoping it went. Yeah, you gotta be patient, my brother. Baina is 57 with 6 kids. She just made $18,000 in a day. She's actually one of my top performing traders, trading students. So yes, this is in TSA. Let me show y'all. Shout out to, she made $636 on NVIDIA. SPX $1,000 in a day. So again, everyone inside of here works a 9 to 5. Like I don't like working with, I wouldn't say I don't like working with people, but people who have 9 to 5s, people who have families, they tend to be a little bit older. You tend to be more serious. Like I don't recommend my group for people who are like under 25, because most of the time people under 25, they want to make a bunch of money really fast. I don't teach people that. You know what I mean? Like I don't teach people that. I show you the boring, slow way to grow your money. I can show you how to compound. You know, I can show you how to make $200 to $300 a week. That's what I can do. You know what I mean? Like, and if that's not worth it to you, then that's cool too. But if it is worth it to you, then that's also cool. You know what I mean? KO, shout out to KO, $447 on a day, 19% on an account. So yes, I say $200 to $300 a week. Yes, there's people doing that per day. There's people doing more in a day. Just it's based off your risk levels. It's based off of your patience level. It's based off experience. Do you complete the curriculum and all that stuff? Is this options trading? Yes. Let me actually go up. I want to show y'all my profits though. Let me show y'all my profits here. 25% on the account. 117%, my bad. Where is this trade? I posted it on here, $938 in a day. Oh, here it is. So this is the Chevron position I took right here. Chevron $200 calls. This was a 91% trade that I took. I've been trading SPY and QQQ, and I typically only focus on those tickers. Is that a bad thing? No, it's not bad. Not bad at all. Yeah. So this is literally all we do in TSA, y'all. This is literally all we do. Right? Did anyone take Oracle? $2,500 in a day. Highest day, $1,500. Lowest day, $826. Best day, $826. Worst day, $153. Profit streak, 5 days. You know what I mean? Quick scalp during work. So again, if you work a 9 to 5, this is specifically built for people who work 9 to 5s. The way that we trade, we really only trade the first 2 hours of the day unless we're swinging. This is $260 in a day on the side of the 9 to 5. And again, what was I gonna say? I can't remember. I'll show y'all another one, right? Like people want to see like actual profitable people. I'll show y'all Kelly. So I started out with $3,200 in October, was doing great, grew my portfolio to $6,300, and overnight lost $2,500. Bottom dropped out right at open. It was my fault. I sized up because I had been doing so well, took swings and lost, took a break, like 3 weeks off, studied, came back and got on a hamster wheel of wins, then lose, then win, then lose. I could not get it together. Finally, 2026 hit, did the Daniel fast with the group, prayed, journaled, and put God first every single day. Reading the word, praising, and being super thankful for this journey. I write this because my port is almost at $10,000. I made over $2,000 in the last 2 weeks, and I'm super thankful to Dantes and all of TSA, our space to learn and grow. And this is her actual account. And these are the actual gains. So, yeah. Yes. We do this literally every day. This is the trading floor. We have over 400 traders in here with all different account sizes. Shout out to Jew, $525 in a day. We got small accounts in here, so you don't have to have a bunch of money to do this. Right? If I keep scrolling up, like this is just something we do on a day-to-day basis, right? You don't have to have a whole bunch of money to do this, right? If you work a 9 to 5, this can work specifically for you. Bada boom, bada bam, bada bing. Here's what I'll do. Here's what I'll do, right? What do I want to do? What I would rather you guys do, instead of just joining TSA right now, I would rather you get a little bit more information. Like I know some of you really want to join right now, but again, like I would just rather you know more about TSA before doing any of that. So here's what I would say. If you're really interested in joining TSA, I could definitely open up slots right now. There's no link in my bio or anything that you guys can use to join my Discord because like I said, it's closed. But here's what I'll do. I'll open up spots tonight in the class, right? Tonight in the class, it's at 7 p.m. Eastern time, okay? You can click this little orange button right here, right? And you can sign up for a free class tonight. It'll break down Catalyst even more. It'll break down key levels. It'll break down the strat. It'll break down risk management. And then I'll open spots up because we do have an in-person event coming up in Atlanta, Georgia. It's going to be April 10th through the 12th. I'm in tomorrow's class. Is that okay? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so you guys can literally click this link. You can sign up for either today's class at 7 p.m. or tomorrow's class at 7 p.m. So we're running these classes because, like I said, we do have an in-person event coming up. We already have around 80 people scheduled to come to the in-person event. Sounds good, Jeff. Appreciate you tuning in, man. We already have around 80 people scheduled for the in-person event, but this gives you some more information, right? Like I could be like every other person on TikTok and I could sell you something right now, but I want you to be informed. I don't want people who are just kind of like looking to make a bunch of money fast and stuff like that. I want people who are actually educated and who care about getting the right information. So let me give you more free information first by clicking this orange button right here. You can sign up for it. It's free. I tried the orange button. It's not working. Try to leave the live and come back. Thank you, sir. I look forward to seeing the class. Have a wonderful day. I appreciate that. If you don't see the button, try to click out and then come back in. Yeah, the orange button definitely works. I'm seeing people actually register for the class right now. So yes, I would say get you some information first. You know what I mean? Get some information first. And if you haven't already, make sure you guys at the top of the screen, just hit the follow button. Good morning, Tim. If you guys don't see the orange button, just shoot me over a DM. Just DM me the word class, and I'll send it over to you. In there, I'll see you at 7. I'm in. See you then. Absolutely, I'll see you guys then. Make sure you guys show up on time. The door is locked to the actual room itself, and then you get kicked. So just make sure you show up. All right, what questions you guys got for me? It's been about an hour and 17 minutes. What questions do you guys have for me? You got to DM me the word class. If you don't see this orange button right here for tonight's class, just DM me class. This way, instead of you paying for something right now and joining TSA and then realizing it doesn't really make sense for you, you can at least hear a lot more about it, get more information, even see if you want to learn from me. Go to the class, hear more about it, and then you can go based off of that, off more educated information. How do I get to the class? We will text you and email you. Is options good with 10K safe? Yeah. I would probably use less than 10K though to start. The orange button says start or join. It just says fill out the form and then reserve your free seat here. When you click that, it'll take you over to the page to sign up. Would you suggest Oracle for a long-term position? I can't give financial advice on live. Sorry. I would just say do research on their balance sheets. How long will this class be? It'll be about an hour. About an hour, a little over an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Indicators. Here's my indicators right here. These are all my indicators. This one right here is my main indicator. This is one that I built myself, as you guys can see. Author, Dantes Akram, and it's locked. You can only get this if you're a part of TSA. What's the difference between a market order and a stop order when entering an order type? A market order is when you want to get out of something immediately. A stop order is most of the time a limit order, and a limit order is basically you want to get out of a position when the contract price hits a certain level or hits a certain price. It'll auto close it out for you at that price. How do we become a part of TSA? You can just come to tonight's class and you can hear more about TSA before just joining today. Because I hate when people just join in something and they don't really know what is actually going on. So I would rather you just get more information. Yes, Kashmir Republic, I will be saving this live on YouTube. So you guys can go back and rewatch it. Damn, bro, what camera are you using? This is the Sony a6400. How do you trade, manage positions, and watch the market when busy at a 9 to 5? You just buy time on your contracts. And then you just set alerts. Do you have a link? Ronnie, you can click this orange button right here and you can sign up for the live class that is tonight. You can come to tonight's class or tomorrow's class, whichever one works best for you. Can I get $30? Nope. If I give you $30, then I know my daughter's gonna call me today and ask me for some Robux, and that's her $30. You know, her Roblox come first. I'm from Vegas. What time is it where you live? I am on Eastern Standard Time, so it is 11:35 a.m. Tonight's class will be at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Trust me, I know my daughter. She's either every Friday or every Saturday, she's gonna call me and ask me for Robux, and I already know I'm gonna have to send it to her. Brody, does TradingView data delay still occur with subscriptions? When you have the real-time data, I think it's like $4 a month, you should be getting live data from there. So when you stream like this, do you have your camera hooked up to your laptop? I have a Blackmagic Design, which is like a box that integrates my computer with my camera, my mic, and my monitors. Like I have a whole setup right here. So yeah, I will be there tonight. Look forward to having you, brother. Do you study the companies you buy stock in? Yes, of course I do. Have to. Does TSA send out potential trades? Yes, we do pre-market calls every morning. So every morning I jump on a call with all of my members. Usually it's like 80 to 150 members on there every day in the morning time before they go to their 9 to 5s or whatever. And I break down trades live. You have been talking about trading the gap. Can you talk a little more about the gap trading? Maybe I'll do that on the next stream. I'll probably do it on the next stream. I don't have enough time today to do it. I've already been on here for about an hour and 20 minutes. Where are you using these indicators on, bro? This is TradingView. Do you use the Strat Scanner? I have my own built Strat Scanner. Tonight's class is at 7 p.m. Eastern. So if you click this button right here, that button, orange button right there, you'll be able to join. What's a Strat Scanner? I'm gonna have to go over that another time. That's only for the highest members of TSA though. The scanner that I built, I basically had it coded. My bot built it for my members and my members only. I don't even make YouTube videos or anything about it because a lot of people be trying to take my ideas and build similar stuff. So I just keep stuff to myself. Just only talk about it in TSA. I let my group, do their thing. How can we see your question? You can always shoot me a message on TikTok. Brando was good. Shout out to Brando, the GOAT himself. What camera are you using? Sony a6400, and then the lens is a 16 millimeter. 16 millimeter. Yo, Brando, I'm actually going through the rest of the course today. I'm at there was the really long one. I think it's the main curriculum one. I think I'm on video 7 or something like that out of 23 or something. I can't remember exactly which one it is. The 1, 2, 3 represents the volume. No, the 1, 2, 3 represents the strat. I have videos on my YouTube about it. Do y'all teach how to enter off options and all that? Yes. Do you use Fidelity or Schwab? I don't use either of those. All right, guys, I'm gonna hop off for right now. I got some stuff I gotta go knock out, get my day started. Love you guys dearly. I appreciate you.